Haldex services on VW and Audi cars are one of the most overlooked maintenance items. Not servicing this system will lead to all-wheel drive failure and parts that look like this. From my experience, many cars that have Haldex systems actually don't have history of the all-wheel drive system being serviced. And that's because many times people don't get it recommended to them because the people they may be dealing with, whether that be a dealer or an independent shop, may not actually know that system even needs to be serviced regularly. Haldex is an all-wheel drive system found on many VW and Audi models. On a traditional all-wheel drive system, all four wheels drive all of the time. On a Haldex vehicles, you have a clutch that will engage or disengage the rear wheels based on the demand from the car. The rear Haldex clutch engaging and disengaging over many miles will add heat into the system, which will also degrade the quality of that oil over time. Most people are going to get this done at a dealer, so what we're gonna do right now is call a bunch of dealers and get some pricing and see what that looks like. So we're gonna start with a New York dealer, see how that goes.
For our parts department, please press 3.
Okay, so it's a Golf R.
Yep.
A quote?
Yes, a quote for a Haldex service.
What are we looking to do?
Haldex service?
A what?
A Haldex service?
Huh. What is that? Out of curiosity.
It's a service on a system for the all-wheel drive.
Sorry, that's the first time I've heard of that one. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna put you on hold.
Yeah, go ahead. I got jazzy this music is. I'm not sure who I got transferred to, by the way.
It was a big design field.
No, they hung up. They hung up.
It's about an hour labor, $225, and then the fluids.
So $225 for the labor plus $80 in fluid, is that right?
The shop foreman, he did say that it's highly suggested that be done at the $60,000. It should have been done a little earlier, but
305 maybe.
Yeah, that's a service that needs to be performed.
Yeah, it's like,
sir.
yeah, you better do it. 5 minutes ago, he was like, what is that? So per VW and Audi, that service that you just heard us get quotes for would just be a drain and fill. They remove the old fluid, they put new fluid in, that's it. That is not the way that we do it or we recommend people do it. And because we explained to you how Haldex systems work, you know that the pump takes fluid and puts it into the clutch. Well, what happens is that because contaminants can build up in there, the screen can get clogged, making the all-wheel drive not function. So draining and filling is not really sufficient because if there's stuff stuck on that screen of the pump, which can happen, it doesn't get cleaned off by draining and filling. So in our eyes, that's not a sufficient way to service it. And so both of our shops doing that service with a pump screen cleaning, which isn't terribly difficult, but there's seals and bolts you need to do to replace that pump. When you take it out, you have to replace the seals and bolts. And then also the time to do that, which does obviously raise the price a little bit. So, and because they're now $100 from Volkswagen, if you got that done at a dealer, the parts price would be insane. We actually have sometimes people ask us why a dealer is cheaper than us in terms of the service because they're performing a different service. If you wanted to do just a drain and fill, this shop would be happy to do that for you, but it isn't what we advise for people to do. Okay, so we're gonna try a dealer in Texas. This is gonna be in a major metro market.
This is how may I help you?
Hey, doing? I have a 2017 Golf R that I was hoping to get a quote for a Haldex service on.
I'm sorry, what kind of service were you looking for on your Golf R?
A Haldex service?
A Haldex, okay.
2 for 2 out of people who don't know what Haldex systems are.
Grand total after tax, $246 and 8 cents.
When you guys do that service, you're not quoting cleaning the pump and the screen of that, correct?
That's strictly just a drain and fill.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Let's try Miami.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. My name is Maria. You're calling in reference to the rewards program?
I'm not. Is this service?
Yes, this is service. Hi, good morning. How are you?
Doing great. And I need to get a quote on a Haldex service.
You need what's going on with the vehicle?
I just need some scheduled
Kind of
a Haldex service.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Haldex service?
Haldex?
Yeah, Haldex. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, thank you. Hold on, thank you.
She doesn't know, but she's really pleasant. This is so that if they give you rage, that it helps while you're on hold, calm you down again.
Thank you for waiting.
No, thanks.
Is this like the Golf that you have? It's like a wagon, right?
It's a hatchback.
It's your hatchback. Okay.
It's a Golf R.
Okay, so yes. So you're looking at $322.50.
$322.50.
You have a happy holiday, all right?
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. They don't really have like a pricing that's easily accessible. So the reason why it takes so long for quotes like this to come from a dealer is because what they're going to do is they're going to go to parts and they're going to say, hey, this customer's on the phone, they need this service. They're going to look up the parts. They're going to give a quote for the parts. Then they're going to go to the technicians and say, hey, how much time do we need to do that? And then they're going to assemble that quote together in those things. A lot of times what will happen with our advisors, we'll either have things called can jobs where basically they're pre-built to do that. We will just look up a previous one a lot of times when people look for certain things that maybe are complicated to quote, and we'll just look up a previous one we did and say, hey, like here the last one we did cost this much, here's a rough idea of how much that cost. The challenge with dealerships is they don't operate like that, and that's what gives you this experience where you're on hold for a long time waiting for a quote for something that to you seems simple, but to them is not. Now to start with our service, we have to start with removing the fill plug, and the reason why is because if you can't remove the fill plug, you can't put fluid back in after you drain it. So this is what a new one looks like. This is what a socket that goes in there looks like. If you look, it goes in and out real easy. Ours is not gonna go so easy. It's a 5mm Allen and it's rusty. I've penetrated it, but in this particular case, patience is a virtue that will make it more likely you don't have to try to air hammer this drain plug off. I'm hoping this doesn't strip because it's really gonna suck if it does. Oh yeah, baby. I know you don't think, like that was probably a lot more exciting for me than it was for you, but let me tell you, and that's gorgeous. If your Haldex isn't overfilled, there shouldn't be anything that comes out of this. We'll look at that later. And 8mm Allen here. This one's not really quite as rusted, but I did penetrating oil this one too. As you can see, I had to hammer it in. Still get the drain plug in. And just break it loose like that. All right, so we're gonna back our plug out, 250,000 miles. Let's see how bad this is. And as you can see with this fluid right here, this is pretty clean. So this is for sure has been serviced recently. This is our Haldex pump and it is plugged in on the other side. So we're gonna unplug that and then we're gonna remove this from the car. All right, so now I am removing the mounting bolts for the Haldex module, and you likely will not need to do this. If you decide you want to actually physically remove the full pump, you will need to do this. But if you are just going to let it kind of hang and maybe tie it up or something like that, you won't have to take this off. There is a bolt here and a bolt here, and that's what holds it on. Ugh. Quite a bit of dust and debris. This is a connector to our car, and this is one to our pump that we have to remove. So we're gonna do that now. Under here is the tab. You can see when you push back here, it lifts up. What I did is I stuck the pick underneath here to allow that up, and then I pushed up on the side of this with a screwdriver like that. But you gotta make sure you're under this, because otherwise, if you don't have it unhooked, it will break this connector. And up here, this wiring, it has like a mounting tab in, you pull it backwards on it towards the front of the car and pop it out of its place. Now the pump has 2 bolts, 1, 2, 10mm. My top one is rusty, made me real nervous, but it actually seems like it came out pretty good. After all this rusty stuff, none of this broke, which I'm calling that a huge win. Like our sway bar link bolt broke off in our subframe back here. Still gotta deal with that. There we go. Once it started moving, we're good. I see some massive corrosion inside. Oh, Jesus. So what we're looking at is this screen. So this is actually what we're trying to clean up, is inside of that screen. So I've seen a lot of ones online that are worse than this for sure. It's interesting, you see this fluid inside? It's like holding it in. It's like one directional screen intended to hold the fluid in, but not let the fluid, like it can go in, but it can't go out easy. I don't know if I'm right about that, but it feels like it. Either I'm making that up or it's real. Okay, this is a T10 Torx. Our Torx kit we sell on our site actually has this size in it. Don't lose these, because if you do, you're screwed. Okay, really not a whole lot of junk in there. So that makes me feel pretty confident that either this has been serviced religiously or just luck. Because our screen on our pump was clean, I wanted to get some more options to show people what it looks like when a pump screen is dirty. Here are some pictures of cars in a Facebook group that I'd said, hey, share with me your dirty pump screen, and let's take a look at those. Ben has shown his pump at 31,000 miles and at 6,000 miles. You can see that the screen is pretty dirty there and pretty dirty there. These are not nearly as bad. And inside the housing, you can see there's a lot of debris in there as well. Here is Anthony, 86,000 miles when he bought the car used, and that's not great, but definitely not terrible. There's a couple in here that are real rough looking. There's some real interesting ones in here. Here is Felipe, 79,000 miles. Again, you know, it's got some debris on there. Here is Paul Karen at 62,000 kilometers, which is like 50,000 miles. You can see this is probably the worst one we've looked at so far. Here's inside of his housing. You can see there's quite a bit of debris actually inside the housing. And again, 62,000 kilometers. My guess is he runs this car pretty hard. And I asked him as much and he kind of implied that. So partially, I think driving style is going to impact this more than anything. This is from Brian. He said he changes his about every 2 years-ish. He autocrosses it, but also dailies the car. So mileage is not specific, but does it every 2 years regardless. So let's just assume he does 12,000 a year. Maybe that's like 25,000 miles, including autocross. So you can see kind of some variance there. And lastly, here is a video from Nick. He has a shop in Connecticut, I believe. This is a customer's car of his that the pump is pretty rough. So you can see on top of this screen is like clumps of material in there. That's pretty bad. Yeah. Oh God, look at that. Look in that hole. And as you can see in his video, on top of the condition of that screen, he didn't actually fully remove the pump from the car. And the reason why is because you don't have to, as I mentioned in the video, so you can kind of just pull it out and pull it aside and not have to unplug it, which is kind of a pain, but I wanted to be able to show everybody on camera what it would actually look like. This is corrosion that I'm gonna be cleaning off because we wanna make sure we get a good seal. We gotta make sure that this thing mates up against our differential housing good. You are gonna wanna clean this up a little bit. Get some brake clean, contact cleaner, something along those lines. Get this thing cleaned up. 260,000 miles on it. The car has always looked very nice. It did need an engine, but the rest of the car was in great shape. So this car has been meticulously maintained. Yours probably doesn't look like this, to be clear, especially if you had a car with this much mileage. It's unlikely to have been serviced this well. We got to put new seals on here, and then we also have new hardware. Volkswagen has a kit for this. It's $100, I think, for 2 bolts and 2 seals. We're working on this alternative. That's going to be not $1 million. $100 is a staggering amount of money for 2 seals and 2 bolts. Unfortunately, if a dealer does this and that's all they have access to, it's going to make this service $100 more at minimum, and if they charge you $100. It was like $50 before, or like 40 or 50 before, and now it's 100. The tariffs probably have a lot to do with that, but I'm also going to clean out the inside of this, and you can see there's dirt and goop in there, so you will want to make sure you clean out that hole real good. We got 1 bottle. That's all we need. I'm just going to give a little boop like that, and then I'm just going to go just a little bit on here. Now what we're going to do, feed our wire up just like so. We're going to lube our seals up, some dielectric grease, because we're having some challenges getting it in. So Maybe a little more than just the oil was needed. All right, so I'm snugging these up. I just got this set in place and threaded them in, and then I tapped this with a screwdriver and a hammer to get it to seat the rest of the way because it was not being cooperative. So I just stuck a screwdriver right here, gave it a little tap like that to get it to seat the rest of the way in. But before that, I had these bolts threaded in and it was already basically in place. So remember, don't just start banging on this thing with a hammer. Don't do that. And we're going to show you the torque spec of these pump bolts on screen now. And we're going to plug our module back in to our pump, and then we're going to bolt this up. Also, make sure when you're putting this back in, you clip the wires back into their holes, because if not, your prop shafts will rip the wires straight out of your pump, and then you'll be buying a new pump. Also, I got another great tip for you. Don't eat yellow snow. New drain plug. Do not put the old one in. It's recommended to replace. All of our kits include it. And we're going to snug up our drain plug, and we're going to put this torque spec on screen now. This is our fluid injection tool. We have these on our site, shopdap.com. We have kits that you can get this as well, but you are going to need this because you have to force this into your Haldex fill procedure. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this hose into this hole. I'm going to turn this valve to allow the fluid to come out, right? You just turn it like that. Push it on in. And what we're going to do is keep filling that until it flows out. It goes slow, dude, because you're forcing all this fluid through a small little orifice. We're trying to force it through your orifice. Yeah, you see. You can see the hose is kind of blocking it. But now that we've fully pulled it out of there, it is dripping. So we're not ready to get our fill plug in yet, and that's because we need to prime our Haldex pump. Now we're gonna get our engine running. You're gonna go to our all-wheel drive module with a scan tool. We're using OB11, you could use VAGCOM, and then we're gonna go to our pump motor. We're gonna activate it. We're gonna slide to start, attempting to activate. See that? Did you hear that? It worked. Did you hear it?
It's still going.
Well, it's going as long as you let it go. So once we've primed it, we can now stop it because we can stop it because we don't need to continue to just let it go over and over again. Let's go check that fluid level. Now that we primed the pump, we are going to reset our level. But to do so, two things before you're setting any level. Number one, your car's level, and number two, your fluid temperature. VW says it's supposed to be between 20 and 40 degrees Celsius. I think 20 is something like 68 or so, 70 degrees Celsius. We're indoors in climate control, so we are at 23-ish degrees centigrade, even though it's like 17 outside. So same deal as before. We're just filling until it flows out. But again, this is your final fill to make sure that everything is hunky-dory. But you can see we're dribbling out a little. We're doing some dribbling. But most likely what we're going to do when we pull this out is get some more dribble. So there you go. We're going to do that until it's kind of just like a light drip. And then we're going to pop our plug in. And the torque spec we're going to show you for this fill plug is going to be on screen right here. So if you want to get your Haldex serviced, you can go to one of our shops. Obviously, they're going to do a great job. A lot of specialty shops also going to do a great job. You will want to ask about cleaning the screen. Dealerships are not going to do that by default. You have to be careful to make sure they are doing it because a lot of them, as you saw, don't actually know what it is. So they may just yes you to death and you may not actually be getting that service. Also, we sell kits. So if you want to DIY it yourself, go to our site. We'll link to them all in the description where you can have options for the Haldex service kits. Hey, shift knobs, we make them. This is a new one that's coming, a leather version. You can see it here. This leather ball is going to be something that is coming in the future. It is not out yet, but it is on the way. And it will work with, if you've previously purchased knobs, it will actually work with those as well. So if you've been waiting for a leather version, just know that that's coming. And Alcantara too.